right, guys, welcome back to my channel. I am currently loaded up on oxycodone. I'm about to drop my my third pill today to keep that high going. And I had a surgery today, so that's why I'm on oxycodone. And then earlier today, they gave me some fentanyl right through my catheter, just injected me with some fentanyl. So I've been doing all the hard drugs today, guys. And this is not a promotion of hard drugs, guys. I did them in a controlled environment. Through doctors and anesthesiologists. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick PSA. Don't do street drugs because those drugs are being laced right now with fentanyl, which is 100 times stronger than, I think, Percocets. So just a few dashes of, like, if it was salt, a few of fentanyl, that can kill you. So you got to be careful where you guys get your, drugs from, especially if they're prescription drugs. Even marijuana today is being laced with fentanyl, even cocaine. So some really scary stuff. All right, guys, I'm going to, this is going to be a video. I'm reacting to a video posted by Fleckus Talks and Bo Diddle. Now I'm going to address all the health questions at the end of the video, because for the visitors that are going to find my video through search engine, I don't want them like seeing a long drawn out health video before I get into the actual content. So we're going to start with the content and then we'll talk about the health at the end. So let's get this video started. All right, let me pull my screen in. Here we go, guys. I thought this was a super interesting video. I did watch some of this already, and I wanted to kind of react to the rest of it with you guys. This is from an LGBTQ pride event, and the theme is asking, people on the street if these events are good for kids. And I'll just pause it and react to the video kind of as I think of things that I want to talk about. So let's get into it.
If your child came to you underage, let's say age 12, and said, I don't feel like this gender, I want to be another, would you be accepting of a gender reassignment surgery?
Absolutely.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Bo Diddle. And
yeah, my answer is absolutely not. The problem is a lot of these surgeries, this gender reaffirming care, a lot of it's irreversible. And, I know a lot of you are thinking about trans people for the first time in the past probably a couple of years, because it's been a pretty hot topic here in the U.S. But I lived in Thailand, and I visited Thailand in 2016 for the first time. So for me, I was already kind of looking at these issues back in 2016. And I learned a few things. I learned that a lot of people that get the gender reassignment surgery, they can never have an orgasm ever again. I think it's like 40% or something from what I remember. That's a pretty horrible thing to live without being able to achieve, an orgasm. That's pretty horrible. A lot of these people end up becoming sterilized. They cannot reproduce again, at least naturally. And, when you're a kid, you don't really know which way your life's going to go. That's just the reality, So I'm against the idea of kids getting gender reassignment surgery. If you want to wear a dress and you're a kid, be my guest. Go put a dress on. But you shouldn't be doing things to stop your puberty. And I understand from the potential trans kids, because I know trans kids are actually trans. Some of them are just being brainwashed and pressured. Like, I understand if let's say you're born a boy and puberty is going to make you more masculine. I understand the desire to want to kind of stop that. But it's really unhealthy and not natural to stop your puberty cycle. Like, it just doesn't sound right from a common sense perspective. So I'm really just against the whole idea of children in general. My stance is going to be 18 plus. Once you're 18, do whatever the hell you want. Do whatever the hell you want with your body. But I also think that to a degree, this is just genital mutilation. It's just genital mutilation. But the same could be said for people that like get those, and I think Toasty, with the most of you probably have it. Some people would consider those earring holes mutilation as well. So I mean, that's the thing though. If you're an adult, you do what you want with your body. Like, that's just the way it is. And so I think 18 plus is a good line. At least makes sense to me. I've heard some people say 25 plus. I'm gonna go 18 plus. Let's get back to the video.
We're here in Louisville, Kentucky. Right here behind me is an event put on by Drag Queen Story Hour. We're going to see what's going on at this event. Special shout out to Flecka's Talks and Common Ground Studios for having me in on this video. If you want to watch more of my videos, you can find my channel tagged down in the description below. Let's get into it. We're doing a video on the LGBT. Would you be interested?
Sorry about that, guys. I don't have the screen pulled in. The one thing I saw this meme last week, maybe it was earlier this week, where it basically said it's already weird enough that parents want to send their kids to Drag Queen Story Hour, but what's even weirder is why do drag queens want kids at their story hour? And that's a great question. It's like why do the drag queens want children there? You know, I've been to drag queen shows like burlesque drag many years ago. I think probably like almost 8-9 years ago. I haven't gone to one, since. But I just recall very sexual themes happening at these kind of events. And, prosthetic tits is a thing. We've seen that with the teacher in Ontario this week that's gone viral. So these are very adult, mature themes that I don't think kids need to be exposed to. And the other example is like, would you send your kids to a go-go show for kids? Just because you say it's for kids doesn't mean it's actually appropriate for kids. And that's what they're doing here. Drag queen show for kids, story time for kids, drag queen story time for kids. Why not stripper story time? Why not OnlyFans porn star story time? Like, where does this end? This is all about the normalization. It's called incrementalism. It's called step by step to convince these kids to become thinking about these topics when their brains are not really wired yet for these topics.
Actually, I'd really like to get her. Would you be interested in doing an interview? We're talking about the LGBT.
He brings up Hooters. Our favorite communist brings up Hooters. And, I don't think that bringing kids to Hooters would also be appropriate. Like, I'm pretty consistent with that. I didn't go to Hooters when I was a kid. I discovered Hooters for the first time when I was like 20 years old. And so, I'm going to be consistent with that. I don't think you should bring kids to Hooters where it's, hypersexualized. It's not hypersexualized. That's just slightly sexualized, but it's still sexualized. I don't think it's the most appropriate thing.
Sweet. First question is, do you think...
Oh, this part's funny. He goes to talk to this one woman, and then he just completely switches. I think it's kind of rude to watch.
Get into it. We're doing a video on the LGBT. Would you be interested? Actually, I'd really like to get her. Would you be interested in doing an interview?
That's so rude. He's like, actually, I'd rather get her. You're not good enough for me. That's pretty funny.
Talking about the LGBT. Sweet. First question is, do you think that Pride is a place for kids?
Yeah, it's not inherently sexual. People like to see it that way, but it's really like
it's not inherently sexual. People like to see it that way. If people see it that way and they see it as sexual, then it is sexual.
It doesn't have to be something that, you're just everybody's out here having sex and stuff. No, it's about accepting that like other people like other people, and that's fine.
Do you think that the Pride Festival is a place for children?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a safe space.
Do you think that the Pride Festival is a good place to bring children?
Absolutely. I feel like it's the children's, obviously decision to make, but to let them be free.
It's the children's decision to make. If a child wants to try cocaine, is it his decision to make? I mean, these people are just, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Being open and see everything, out in the open. I think it's a really good opportunity for them.
How about the way people are dressed? Do you think that that's okay for kids to see? So, for instance, I'm not trying to call you out, but you're dressed in basically nothing. You are not dressed in nothing on top. So, do you think that that's okay for a kid to see?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything like crazy. I'm not like going up to them and trying to touch them or anything. I'm just existing in what's comfortable for me.
You think it's okay for boys?
She's right. She's not touching a kid, which is a good thing. But that doesn't mean that you're innocent or absolved of all guilt. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're not touching a kid doesn't mean what you're doing is therefore appropriate. You could be two consenting adults having sex in public. You're not touching a kid. The kid's just watching you guys. Is that appropriate? No, of course not. So that's just a really bad, I think, guideline.
Little boys and girls to see boobies?
They're going to probably see them one day, so it really
Do you think now's the time?
it is. It's not. I wouldn't know, but like, as long as you're not being weird about it and like shoving it in everybody's face that you're shirtless. If you're just
So I would argue that she actually is shoving it in people's faces because she's not wearing a bra, not wearing a tank top, not wearing a bikini, and she's covering her nipples with very colorful pasties. So in my opinion, this is what's it called? It's drawing attention to her boobies and putting it in people's faces.
walking around and you're shirtless, nobody really cares. Everybody's going to have their opinion about it, whether they're a kid or not. And kids are going to stare, so do adults, so it doesn't really matter.
I say this as respectfully as possible. I do think it's wrong the way you're dressed with kids around. I think that is insensitive. And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. I say that as respectful as possible. But I do think the way you're dressed is inappropriate for children to be looking at.
I don't think so.
Good for him. Good for him for saying that.
Because trying to demonize the naked body is really upsetting, because that makes kids feel very uncomfortable with being themselves when they're naked, or makes them feel that them being nude or in less clothing makes them feel like that they're objectively trying to get something.
No one's demonizing the naked body. That's not what this is about. It's not demonizing. That's the wrong word. We're not trying to say the naked body is some kind of evil entity. It's just that we need to protect children from sexuality, because we're moving in a very perverse direction. And, you know, for me to say this is super interesting, because I am a former liberal. You know, I used to live a very, I'm not going to say sinful, because I don't consider the way I live my life to be sinful, but I lived a very promiscuous lifestyle. And, you know, I'm definitely not living the same lifestyle now. A lot of it, as we spoke about on other streams, was due to my unforeseen health circumstances that I've dealt with this year. But a lot of it also has to do with the circle of people that I surround myself with. I don't surround myself by as many liberals anymore. And liberals are very, you know, in general, I'm sleeping with a broad brush here, generally more promiscuous than conservatives. That's just the reality. It's easier to sleep with a liberal woman than it is a conservative woman. That's just facts. Now, do conservative women, some of them that say they're conservative, have freaky sides? Yes. Do some conservative women lie about how conservative they are? Yes, that does exist. But in general, liberals promote open sexuality and sexual liberation, and nothing wrong with OnlyFans and all that stuff. So, you know, just interesting observation between the two groups.
Like sex or something, when your naked body is your natural body, and that is how it is.
Say you had a child, I don't know if you do or not, so say you did, 10 years old, and he or she came to you and said, I want to have gender reassignment surgery. Would you be accepting to change your child's gender at 10?
It would be a hard decision. I would be accepting though. I mean, if that's what you want to do.
If you're going to let your kid go through gender reassignment surgery, then your sign shouldn't say love wins. Your sign should say hate wins, because you hate your child.
You're very confident in it. Yeah.
And if your child came to you underage, let's say age 12, and said, I don't feel like this gender, I want to be another.
So Renzo, you're right. Being promiscuous, if you're religious, being promiscuous is a bad thing. But I'm not coming from a place of religion, all right? I'm just coming from a place of, how can I say this, preventing abortions. Because the key to preventing abortions is to prevent unwanted pregnancies. That's the real key here. You know, by the time the woman's pregnant, if she doesn't want to be, we're already too late with that argument, because some states allow it, some states don't. Again, I think it should be completely abolished. That's my stance. But the real solution would be not to get pregnant. That's the answer. So the problem with promiscuity is most people don't use protection. That's the reality. I don't care what anyone says. The reality is not wearing a condom feels better. We all know this. This is not some kind of breaking news. People, especially when they're drinking, become more promiscuous. People, when they're drinking, don't think long-term consequences. People, when they're drinking, don't use protection. I mean, I'm guilty of all of those things. And I'm very fortunate that in my life, I only got a girl pregnant, as far as I know, one time. And unfortunately, she did get the abortion. And, you know, I stuck with that trauma for a long time. But again, that's the real solution here, is preventing unwanted pregnancies. So promiscuity, in terms of sleeping around, is inherently not that bad, because we are free people. But the problem when it's bad is that if you don't use protection and you're creating, you know, causes for abortion, that's the issue. So I think that if people are going to sleep around and be promiscuous, they either have to be on birth control pills or use contraception, or just do oral or backdoor. There you go.
Would you be accepting of a
And the whole argument that condoms are not 100% foolproof. If you get pregnant when using a condom, then that baby's even more of a miracle because he was able to penetrate and overcome the condom wall. So I'll say that if you get pregnant from after having a condom on, then that baby deserves to be alive. That baby is a freaking fighter. That baby's probably going to be the future president or leader of the next civil war. That's what's going to happen.
gender reassignment surgery?
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like everybody, I don't care how old you are.
Even though the brain's not fully developed, it's still okay.
You know, I think at 12, 13 years old, you're right on that line of being able to make that decision for yourself. But I feel like if you...
So she's saying 12 and 13-year-olds can make the decision to make a permanent change to their body. I don't know if you guys have ever Googled what it looks like to turn a penis into a vagina, but I've watched videos of this shit. That's an irreversible surgery. Once you cut your penis off and flip it inside out, you're not turning that back. You've made a decision that you have to live with the rest of your life. And a lot of times, a lot of women, trans women, I mean, they end up with a 1-inch vagina, 2-inch vagina. And the thing you got to realize is when you have a male body, like I do, right? Our body has an innate blueprint for how it's supposed to look. That's why when you cut your finger and the skin grows back, it doesn't grow like much longer or bigger. It pretty much just goes back to normal the way it was because your body knows the dimensions it's supposed to fulfill, right? So when you get your penis basically flipped inside out, the male body doesn't recognize it as a vagina. It's not like the male body goes, oh, I know what you're doing to me. You want to put a vagina here. No, it's not natural to our body. So what happens is the hole that you've now created, the vagina, it actually is identified by the male body as a wound, basically like a bullet hole. So the male body is always trying to like close it up because that's what would be natural. So what they have to do, these trans women, is they have to put like plugs inside their vagina, little plugs. They have to go inside their vagina. It's time to meet Carmen at the door. I got Uber Eats coming. I'm going to say, can you leave it on the porch? I am on YouTube streaming right now. Thank you. God bless you, Carmen. And God bless Trump. Now, I can't say that because she might spit on my food. Let's see. I wrote God bless you, Carmen. Let's see what she says. She kind of looks like a chica guapa. Let's see. I can't look at her picture bigger. Okay, she's looking at me downstairs. So that's the thing. Like they don't produce lubricant like women do down there. They have to keep like a little plug inside the hole, like a little plug inside to keep it like open, kind of like an earring. And then if they want to have sex, they have to lube it up with like lube, or the guys got to use a lot of saliva. So, or coconut oil. Coconut oil is awesome in bed. So that's, I just find that interesting. So like, why would you subject your kid to this irreversible surgery that this could be a phase? That's the problem. We can't get into someone's head and figure out if they're really trans or if it's just a phase or if they're doing it because of social pressure or they want to be accepted or they're depressed or they're looking to escape. Like there's a lot of reasons why people are trans. Not every trans person is legit trans. And it's the same concept for like the Me Too movement. Not every woman is telling the truth. Like, sure, a lot of women are telling the truth and we should listen to women, but absence of actual evidence and proof, I don't think we should believe all women, just like I don't think we should believe all men. I don't think we should believe all people. You know what I'm saying? Like people lie, people have agendas, people have motives. So the whole believe all women is a bullshit narrative. And the same way, like believe all trans people is a bullshit narrative. You know, some trans people are not actually trans. And there's this entire detransitioning movement that's trying to break through the mainstream media, but they can't because they're being shadow banned and blocked. For some reason, TikTok and YouTube and a lot of these platforms would rather promote the trans movement than the detransitioners, which I find so interesting.
You've really thought about it and it's just something that you want to do, go for it.
Thank you for your time. Excuse me, guys. I'm doing a YouTube series talking about children in the LGBT, which...
Thank you. You can just drop it there. I'm on YouTube. You can just drop it right there. Thank you. Sure? Yeah. Thank you.
Would you be open to talking about it?
Not today.
Not today? All right, I figured.
You can go. You're on private property.
This is private property? This is
private property.
McDonald's.
It's McDonald's and private property. You have permission from the ownership. So you can get off the property.
I will get off, but will you talk to me about like the children and what's going on here?
Nope.
You don't want to talk about it?
I won't have any discourse with someone like you. So
Why? We're going to get nowhere as a nation if you don't talk to me.
you can leave.
I know I can leave. I'm choosing not to.
You need to leave. You're being told to leave. I'm an organizer of this event. With the owner's permission that's here, you're not allowed to be on this premises. You need to leave.
Okay. Excuse me? Would you be interested in taking an interview? I'm just talking to people about the
hell is that thing? So this is like really the big point. I respect that he stood up to that guy, that she, I don't even know what his pronouns are. I'm just guessing at this point. But I do respect that he kind of like stood his ground against that guy. And he's absolutely right, because we're not going to get anywhere if we can't talk to each other. Like, we're not going to get anywhere. And that's exactly what's happening. And that's exactly what this country wants. You know, that's why when I talk to people on the street, I try to generally be polite, respectful, even if I disagree with them. And you guys have seen that for years on my channel. I really don't get into many heated discussions, but you know, when people are rude to me, then, you know, lately I've been spitting it back at them because I just don't want to stand for that bullshit. Like when the guy called me a fascist, I called him a pedophile. When the girl told me to get out of New York because I was holding a Trump flag, I told her to stop wearing a mask because she probably had 4 vaccines. So I will snap back at people sometimes if they're rude to me first, but otherwise I don't care if we disagree. Like I want to talk and I want to have a conversation, but a lot of these people don't want to. And I don't know what this is. This might be a furry. I don't know what this is. I think this is a man dressed as a woman and dressed as an animal. I just don't know.
LGBT.
I don't know what that is. And the teeth.
Take an interview. I'm just talking to people about the LGBT.
Yeah, I think they got fangs inside their mouth. It's supposed to be like a little bear or something, a bear with a pearl necklace. This is just bizarre world.
Yes, queen. Yes, queen.
Yeah.
And then of course, when they walk away, someone in the background saying, "Yes, queen. Yes, queen." What the fuck?
It's clean. Yeah, go off, man. Would you like to talk, sir?
No, actually, there's some LMPD right there waiting for you out there, okay?
Sweet.
So you stay here. You stay here.
Sweet.
Stay here.
Okay, I'm not going anywhere. It doesn't matter what my name is.
Okay, then great. Then you stay here.
Okay, I'm not going anywhere.
I love these people, like you're at a public event, which is open to the public, and they're trying to tell you like to stay here. Like they're, you know, like you don't have to listen to these people. Like you have freedom of movement at these events. So these people are just dumb.
How's it going, officer?
Hey,
I'm doing all right.
By the way, the host of this show is wearing a shirt that says "Blacks for Trump," which I think is hilarious.
All right.
What kind of issues they got going on?
No, see, I just wanted to talk, and anyways, they wouldn't talk. They told me to leave, so anyways, I did leave. I don't know why you guys got called. I'm just trying to talk to people. I'm conducting interviews. It's all on footage too. I mean, you can see it.
Are you the manager? I'm the general manager of the store.
Yeah, they go from defund the police to police help. Someone's asking me questions that I don't want to answer.
Okay. Okay. Well,
He wants them trespassed. He said, "What a freaking clown."
he has that right to
Okay,
say,
that's fine.
you know.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm just conducting interviews. I do a YouTube channel. I talk to people. Nothing's going on. Nothing bad.
Yeah. That's fine. Just, you know, just keep it peaceful.
Yeah,
okay?
of course. Shiver me timbers, man. You really got me.
Oh, get off on this.
You really got me. You really got me. No. Keep going. Excuse me, guys. Do you guys know where the child grooming section is? You're not sure? Okay. So do you think it's important to bring more children into the community?
To let them be known that it's okay for like to let them know that there's a place they can be accepted for sure. Yeah.
Can I ask, are you can I ask what you identify as?
Yeah. I am a trans man.
Trans man?
Yeah.
So
here's the thing I don't get about her answer. Like, she obviously has breasts, and I'm a bit of an expert on breasts myself, but I believe that those breasts are natural. So those are actual female breasts. But if she's a trans man, if that's what she's identifying as, then why would she be covering her nipples? Because if she's a trans man, then her nipples can legally be allowed in public. So to me, already that's a little bit hypocritical. You're a trans man, but you're covering your nipples like you're a woman. because you know you are a woman. I don't know. Because the thing is, some men, especially morbidly obese men, they can have boobs. They can have a lot of fatty deposits in their chest muscles, and it ends up looking like a breast. Now, she's obviously not morbidly obese. She's actually in very good shape. She's a very thin person. But still, if you're a trans man, why are you dressing like a... Why are you covering your nipples?
Your pronouns are he, him?
Yeah, he, him, it, sir. Yeah.
She said it. He said it. He, him, it. He literally just said it. That's crazy.
And do you agree with the fact that sexually you are a woman?
Biologically, yes, but that doesn't really mean much to me because
I think the real issue that's happening in our society is people are... I know that there's this whole belief on the left that gender and sex are different. Sex is what you're born with. Gender is a social construct. That concept, by the way, started in 1955. So people don't realize that. Sex and gender were always interchangeable words until 1955. Now, I will say definition changes, science changes, so we'll go with that. But I think the issue is people are confusing masculinity and femininity as those are social constructs. Like, what does it mean to be masculine? That varies all around the world. Like, for example, Ireland, you wear a kilt, that's considered masculine. But in America, you wear a skirt, that's considered feminine. So masculinity and femininity, those are the social constructs. I don't think gender and sex are social constructs. I think sex and gender are what they are. That's my view on that. But I do understand that definitions do change.
I still feel manly regardless of the body I was born in. I still feel more like I don't have to prove that I'm like this macho man by doing stereotypically masculine things. I still like dressing up like really femininely. I still like wearing heels. I still like wearing dresses. But that doesn't mean I'm not a man. I still enjoy doing the things that everybody else does. I just don't care what other people think.
Are you going to go through any like transgender surgeries?
Yeah. Thank you. I do plan on getting top surgery or like, you know, some kind of breast removal and getting on like hormones. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
No problem.
Oh, this is great.
So she seems to be an adult. So if she wants to get her breasts cut off, it's her choice. You know, there is something called a mastectomy, double mastectomy for women that have cancer. My mom actually had I know she had one of them removed when she had breast cancer the first time. I don't know if she had both removed. I don't think she had double. I think she only had single. But the removal of breasts is a surgery that women unfortunately have to get, especially if they're prone to breast cancer. I think Angelina Jolie might have, some famous actress, I think, had a double to prevent the odds of her getting breast cancer. So again, once you're 18 plus, if you want to make these choices and that's how you want to live your life.
How you doing, sir? I'm doing great. 1 second. I'm trying to do an interview. Excuse me? You look great. I identify as black. Would you like to be in an interview? Doing a series on the LGBT?
Sure.
Okay, sweet. So, what's your thoughts on children in the LGBT?
I think children should be allowed to be in LGBT because where I used to live, I was the only gay kid in the neighborhood, and all my friends were able to accept themselves easier because I was out and very queer.
If you raise kids going to pride festivals, I think they're going to be more gay. Do you agree?
Well, I was raised in a church most of my life, and here I am. I'm not straight or a Christian even, and all my family is straight. I've had maybe one or two aunts that were part of the community, but everyone else still supported it but never talked about it until I was maybe 16, and I actually figured out that I liked girls and boys. So
your shirt says pansexual, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that? What does pansexual mean to you?
it means liking anybody for just their personalities rather than who they are.
Does that include animals?
Not really.
Not really, but maybe a little bit, because you said really. Maybe a little?
I love animals, but I would not be sexually attracted to them at all, no.
Do you think it's okay, though, if someone is?
If that's what they like, you can argue with it, but at the end of the day, it's their choice, and you can just let them be and just kind of ignore them.
Wow. So that's her answer to whether or not bestiality is okay. She says that's their choice, and you could just ignore them. So let's expand that thought a little bit. It's just their choice. Whose choice is it? I understand that the human might be making a choice, but is the animal? I mean, this is just some common sense stuff. This is some common sense stuff. This is such a slippery slope. And then she says you could just ignore it. But does that apply to all crimes? Like, do you just think, oh, that guy is a rapist? It's as long as it's his choice, we could just ignore it. Oh, that guy is a pedophile, but it's his choice. Oh, that guy kills animals. Oh, but it's no. If you see something, say something. And an attack on children, attack on animals is something we should all speak up for. Now, again, I do eat meat. I'm not a vegan, so there is a bit of a double standard there, which I will acknowledge. I've never hunted before. I've never killed my own animal for food. It's something that I do want to do at some point in my life, just so that I can, kind of get closer to what I'm putting into my body. I'd like to think that the animals I eat are all killed humanely, but I know that that's not realistic. I know some animals, especially in chicken farms, they end up, dying very, very torturous deaths, very painful deaths, and that's horrible. So that's something that I need to, figure out how I'm going to, manage with my life. But I'd like that if we kill animals, that it's done as humanely as possible and as painless a death as possible. That to me is not really a compromise, but I think it's what has to happen. And that's why when I was living in, Southeast Asia, and I heard that, in China, for example, when they kill the dogs, they try to make the dog die as painfully as possible because it'll shoot adrenaline through the dog's body, and that'll make the dog taste better and give more health benefits. That's what they believe. To me, that is absolutely, sickening. And it does break my heart whenever I, hear animals are being hurt. I can watch videos, and I've seen videos of, people being beheaded, and that's very brutal. And it really does make me, and I haven't watched it in years, but it is some horrible shit to watch. But I can kind of like wince away and just kind of like take a quick glimpse. But when it comes to dogs, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I've seen screen grabs of like, boyfriend beats up dog on camera to get back a girlfriend, and he's holding the dog by its neck and he's like punching it. And I'm just like, nope, no need to watch. I can't watch it. When I even see those kind of stories, all I do is hug my dogs and give them kisses and say like, I would never hurt you, baby. And I would never let anyone hurt you.
If this doesn't make you lose faith in society, I don't know what will.
You asked if this will make kids gay. It's not. It's just educating them.
I'm asking if it's going to bring more people into the community and in turn make more children gay.
Oh, no, it does not.
It's kind of the concept of men who go to jail. You could take man that is super straight and has never looked at a man, touched a man in his life, but you put him in a jail cell where he's only surrounded by men. A lot of men eventually will have sex with other men there because they still have that desire, that need. They want that sensation again. They want to have sex. And when you're surrounded by all that masculine energy, it triggers, I guess it fires up something in you. So a lot of men end up behaving gay in jail. And then sometimes they get out of jail and they still remain gay after that. Even if they never thought about it or were gay. It's not the same concept, but when you create awareness of something and the entire society, education system, corporations, textbooks, social media is all saying being gay is brave, being gay is courageous, being trans is courageous, it is going to encourage a small subset of kids to want to claim that virtue and say, I want to be brave, I want to be courageous. If I'm gay or trans and I get to claim that virtue, and suddenly I get to also be oppressed. And so now I could stand with Black and brown allies, I can get different jobs, I could be promoted, I could be encouraged. That's what's happening for a lot of these trans and gay people. And that's why we're seeing the numbers skyrocket. Now, there are a lot of gay and trans people that are more comfortable coming out because society is more acceptable of it. But not to the level that we're seeing. It's somewhere in the middle. I would say closer to lower level than higher level. That's just the reality.
You don't think so? Make more children more likely to come out if they are gay.
Yeah, it shows that our community is accepting of people, and then also not only that, it also shows, like, it's the same as taking a kid to a straight wedding.
Not really. No, that's the norm. That's the norm. So like in these shows, you
see that's a bad argument because if I had a gay friend that got married, I would take my kid to the gay wedding. That's different to me because that's not sexuality being like, there's not naked bodies. Maybe some weddings there are, but there's not naked bodies kind of running around. There's not nudity there. It's two people wearing suits that are just, expressing their love for each other.
Being white was the norm.
People in different dress, for example, you're a good example of what, some people wear. And, I just don't think that's necessarily appropriate for children to see, especially when they're a younger age.
Well, then what about all the TV shows that people leave on TV? What about all of the actors at award shows that wear even more revealing stuff?
Yeah, it's a problem in society. We're in a very degenerate society. We got to fix that. And I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
You asking, why are you so pressed about the gays and asking them homophobic questions on our own day? Like, why did you come to Pride?
I don't think that he asked a single homophobic question, unless asking questions at a pride parade are just always going to be homophobic. I don't think that he's being homophobic.
This is a public event, so I
It
can.
is, but also you're also not making it very comfortable. This is my first Pride event.
That's cool. But you consented to the interview. You could leave at any point. I'm not holding you guys back. You guys are just making excuses.
We're not. We said everything. We answered every question.
Okay, but you're trying to make me feel like I did something wrong and I've done nothing wrong. You consented to the interview. Well, you could have left at any point, but you chose to continue to talk to me.
You're bigoted in a place of acceptance.
Okay, so right here it says free mom hugs. I'm going to ask her if I can have a hug. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I have a mom hug? Free mom hugs right there. Do you have anything to tell the YouTube channel?
Blacks for Trump.
Will you still hug me?
I did hug you.
But would you do it again?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Because you're human.
Thank you. Thank you. You have a good day. She was a nice gay woman.
Ask, what is this on?
My YouTube channel.
Can I get your
Yeah, of
YouTube
course.
channel?
It's Bo, B-O, as in like body odor, but I actually don't have body odor. And then Diddle, D-I-T-T-L-E. So if your kid grew up and it was like, I want to be heterosexual, would you be okay with that? Or are you kind of hoping for homosexuality?
And then the video just randomly ends there. I don't know why they cut it that way, but the video just ended right there. Thought that was a really
What
great
country is the
video.
Queen of England from?
Shit.
Originally.
Whatever. So anyway, guys, that was a great video by Fleckus Talks and Bo Diddle. Go subscribe to both their channels if you guys want. What's the question that I don't answer? I answer every question. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you even claim to be impartial, or are you just a Trump cheerleader? So again, I was a former liberal on your side of most of these issues, Renzo. We would have agreed 5 years ago with almost everything. I would have been on your side across the board. I would have said Trump was a joke. I would have said pro-choice is the way. I would have said open borders, no human is illegal. I would have believed a lot of those things. So I actually am better than impartial. I went from one side to the other. I was able to see through the bullshit on the left and then look at the common sense and logic and get to the right. So I'm actually better than impartial. And I would argue that people that are really plugged into the news are generally Republicans, and people that don't really follow the news are generally Democrats. From what I've seen on a lot of videos and a lot of interactions, most Democrat voters, I should say Democrat voters specifically, they're very uninformed. You ask them why they voted for Biden, the only answer is because I hate Trump. But when you ask them, like, what policies does Biden pass you really like, very few can actually answer. But if you ask any Trump voter what policies Trump had, we usually have 5 to 10 ready on a freaking at any second. And that's the difference. And if you don't believe me, you can go out and do it yourself. Ask people. Go up to Democrat voters and ask them. Ask them policy-based questions. Ask them current events, news questions. A lot of them don't know. So uninformed Democrats, very informed Republicans. That's my stance. So I'm actually better than impartial. Yeah, I don't think Gateway Pundit's a fake source at all. I think that they just show stories that make you uncomfortable that you just don't like. We'll go to Gateway Pundit right now as an example. We'll pull up some. We'll go to their homepage, look at the first page real quick, and we'll see if we can spot any fake news. Okay, the first one, huge. GOP lawmaker obtains new documents that show Joe and Hunter Biden working to sell U.S. natural gas and drilling assets to China. This is not fake news. This has already been proven that Joe has sold some of our emergency reserves to China. So that's not fake news. Biden economy is official. Dow is down more than 1,000 points since Biden inauguration. That's not fake news. That's literally the Dow chart. Polls show Trump endorsed Carrie Lake leading radical leftist Katie Hobbs general election. That's polling data. That's not fake news. South Korean President Yoon caught on hot mic calling Congress effers who could humiliate Biden following Joe Biden's speech. That's not fake news. We have audio recordings. Creepy Bill Gates just posted another bizarre video. This time he's promoting genetically modified corn to save us from a famine during the planned climate crisis. That's an opinionated headline that Bill Gates is creepy, but that's not fake news. That's a description of what the video has. Cops turns television after being canceled during Black Lives Matter riots over George Floyd. That's not fake news. That's literally a show is returning, and it's probably been announced. J6 was sentenced to 4 years in prison for attending rally, entering U.S. Capitol, and screaming a cop, and because he dressed as Hitler once for Halloween. Probably don't want to dress like Hitler for Halloween. I'm definitely against that since I am a Jewish male. Not a fan of that. But again, that's not fake news. Special Master Raymond Dury gives Trump September 30 deadline to prove. That's not fake news. Republican Bishop calls out lying Democrat for saying Trump supporters bludgeon police officers to death during hearing. Democrat rep makes fool of himself. That's an opinionated headline, but that's not fake news. They can't win if they don't. I can't read that on YouTube. I can read this part though. Kamala Harris says laws banning ballot drop boxes are undemocratic and un-American. No, they're not. It should be very simple. You go to the poll or you mail your absentee ballot in person. That's it. We've already seen with 2,000 mules. That's all I'm going to say. But this is not fake news. This is literally just Kamala Harris, what she said, quote, with an opinionated headline. Zuckerberg and wife hit with legal complaint over the use of charitable organizations. That's not fake news. That's what's going on. So you guys can see I've gone through almost the whole homepage here, and I haven't seen a single article of fake news. Renzo, how dumb are you? They didn't say he's charged for dressing like Hitler. They didn't say that. They just said he was prisoned for attending rally, entering U.S. Capitol, and screaming at cop. And, okay, they did say and because, but that's not why he went to jail. Because obviously he dressed once as Hitler for Halloween. He didn't go to jail because of that. He's going to jail because of J6, and they're using that now as part of the narrative that he's some kind of anti-Semitic. And by the way, this guy's half Jewish, which is kind of hilarious. He's going to jail for his January 6th involvement. The fact that he dressed as Hitler is just adding to the narrative. But if he never was involved in J6 and all he did was dress as Hitler, he would not be going to jail. So that's what's really going on there. Don't spin around the headline. Don't spin around the headline. No one goes to jail for dressing up as Hitler. It's just really bad taste to do that. Yeah, Hadi, we all know that. The first guy arrested was a known Antifa BLM activist, John Earl Sullivan. We all know that. And his chats leaked already, where he basically said, I'm going undercover as a MAGA supporter. Me and many people are going undercover as MAGA as Trump. But this is already known. Like, you could find the leaked chats. Anyway, guys, that is the video I wanted to react to today. I just had a surgery today. My stomach is killing me, guys. I had this implanted in my stomach, and so my stomach is in so much pain. I'm surprised that I was able to even do the stream today, guys, because I'm now going to eat my Thai food, lay down, and have more oxycodone, and try to sleep until this pain goes away. I hear it takes about 5 to 7 days. So I really can't do much for the next 5 to 7 days. I am going to be streaming the Trump rally tomorrow on my channel. So hopefully they don't nuke my channel. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But if you guys want to watch the Trump rally tomorrow on my channel, we'll be streaming it here. And I'm not going to react to it because I don't want to interfere. People like to just hear Trump speak. So we're going to do it tomorrow. And you never acknowledge Trump's legal troubles. Bro, I don't ignore you. I was not reading my chat messages when I was reacting to the video, you dumbass. I don't know why this kid keeps thinking I'm ignoring messages. I literally was reacting to a video, not reading any comments. So I'm not ignoring anything. And I don't give a shit about Trump's legal troubles because they're all bullshit. The only reason why they're doing this is to keep his name in the news. And the midterms are coming up so they could demonize the MAGA movement. That's it. Nothing's going to happen to Trump. He's not getting indicted. He's not getting arrested. He's not going to jail. This is all just for show, just like the J6 committee hearings. Come on. Like, how do you not? No, I'm not triggered about the content. I'm triggered about when you tell me that I'm ignoring you and that I'm not responding to things. I don't get triggered by Trump getting arrested and you bringing that shit up. I don't really care about that stuff. But I get triggered when you say I'm ignoring you, like I have some kind of motive and agenda to not respond to things. No, I respond to everything. I'm very open and transparent on my channel. I've always been. I acknowledge everybody. So, and I don't block anybody. As a matter of fact, I unblock people that somehow got blocked. So that's just the reality of what's going on here. All right, guys. Thank you for watching as always. I'm going to take some more Oxy, eat some Thai food, and try to sleep. So see you guys tomorrow. Be free, my sheeple. And as always, God bless.